Okay, this will be an unboxing of the Gooloo 1500A jump starter. It arrived this morning. Package was undamaged. I purchased the item through Amazon. Very quick shipping. Seems to be a nice box. Very light. I thought the unit was going to be a lot heavier because it's a jump starter, and the part of the jump starter that I am replacing it from had this big lead acid cell in it. This thing weighs 4 times as much as this new jump starter pack, so I don't really know what to expect. Seems packaged nicely so far. Okay, nothing left in the box. We'll get rid of that. And it's got a welcome guide for the Jumpstart 1500A jump starter. It's nice. Little carrying strap. I can't see how that's going to be very useful. What do we got here? Okay, that's the front of it right there. Nice heavy Velcro. This will be the unit itself and the accessories that come with it. And I guess that's everything out of the case. Put that aside. We've got the cable module. It's supposed to have quite a bit of protection for your unit while you're hooking it up. And we have the charger. Okay, caution, fully charge before use. So you definitely have to charge this. We'll remove this label, we don't need it anymore. It's a nice feeling unit. And some of the junk. Do not dismantle device. Oh yeah, that's just like that last one that I had. I didn't dismantle it to get the battery out neither. Okay. So we have a charging transformer, and I guess it says input output 5 volt, and it has a type C USB. These others are output output, so it must be the USB-C cable needed for charging. Oh, there's actually USB-C to USB-C and USB-A to USB-C. So this will be what we need for the initial charging. And that'll plug into there. And I just happen to have a power source handy, so we'll plug that in. And I don't see, oh yes, I do see a light on. There's the light right there. And it's cycling up. It looks like it's almost charged, but it's still charging. So we might as well not watch this. I'll cut away for this. Well, the unit took about 45 minutes to charge from about 3/4 to full, brand new. It came 3/4 charge, so it didn't take very long to charge the unit. I did notice that this transformer got fairly warm during the charging process, but I guess for a little cheap power supply, I guess it's okay. The unit basically has a 15 volt 10 amp barrel connector unit for running devices with a car adapter, I guess. You can press it once and it shows you your level of charge. If you press it and hold it for 3 seconds, it turns on a nice light. It works fairly well for an LED, little LED. If you tap it, it goes into a emergency mode. Tap it one more time and it flashes SOS. Tap it again, turns off. Just let the time go by and that will shut down. To charge the, or to plug the booster cables in, you have to peel that back and rock the connector until it goes right in. The only thing I'm really disappointed, a couple of things. These clamps are pretty good, except for I don't know how well this plastic is going to hold up in 40 below weather. Might be okay for 10 or 20 below. Hoping that it doesn't crack on me and break. Another thing, when I'm using it to start my generator, you have to push this boost button in, and it's recessed, so it's very hard to get at. You have to actually carry something all the time to poke that button. I mean, when you hook up to a car, it if there's some charge left in the battery, I guess you don't have to worry about pushing that button. It'll just go to connect and you can start it. I've had a few vehicles in the past that were pretty dead. And another thing that I would like this for is if you have alternator problems, which I've had in the past, and you're out in the middle of nowhere, I want something that I can leave hooked up in an emergency just to get me to civilization again. And I don't know whether this would fit the bill. I'm hoping that it would, but I'm just worried about that boost button, how long it actually stays triggered for. I guess generally speaking, the unit should do what I bought it for. Gooloo, I'd never heard of them before. It's very, very light. All in all, seems to be not a bad unit. Nice carrying case, but I'm not going to be able to use that in my vehicle. This, you have to rock it to get it out. This unit, just like this and this, will fit in the vehicle no problem. I don't have to carry around the charger or whatever. When it gets low, I'll charge it. All in all, seems like a good product. We'll have to see when time goes by whether it does everything I need. Alright, this is the main reason why I bought this unit, the Gooloo, is to start my generator in the middle of winter when it's sometimes 40 below where I live. And believe me, it's pretty hard pull starting something like that. The instruction manual says do not use as a battery replacement, But I've never had a battery for this, and I used my old booster all the time. And I see that if I hook up to my negative terminal and then hook up to the positive, if I go to turn it on, I get nothing. Regrettably, I have to push this boost button, which is hard to get at. You have to use a device to do it, and then so the unit is going to do what I wanted it to do. I do want it to carry around just in case I need to boost my truck in the winter time, because like I do say, it gets to 40 below where I live, and 40 below Celsius and Fahrenheit, or 40 below no matter how you look at it. The boost button is really hard to push. You have to use something to poke into it. Would have been better if it protruded a little bit, but other than that, I love it. I like having the flashlight. If I'm broke down on the highway or whatever, at least I'll have an emergency flashlight as well. It should do the job. This is a final follow-up. I've tried the unit a few times. This block provides excellent protection. If you hook up a battery the wrong way, it gives you a warning. When you hook up to your battery, it can tell whether there's any charge left in it. If it isn't enough charge, but it has a little something to it, you might get the green light flashing on and off, and then you have to press the boost button in, and then you have 30 seconds to get into your vehicle and start it up. If the red is on, it means you're hooked up the wrong way. I'll just show you. This is from my old booster. It's a lead acid battery that I removed, and I gave it a good charge with my variable power supply. It has current limiting on it, and I've got a full 12 volts on this battery, but there's no current left to it. It's good for nothing. And this is just a display of what happens if you hook up the wrong way. And then I'll show you if you hook up the right way. Okay, you get the red light on, and you get a notification. So that's excellent for people that are fumbling around and don't know exactly what they're doing. It is a real safety feature for the unit. If you do hook up the right way, the green light will come on. The green light comes on, stays on. You don't have to push the boost button. You can go in your vehicle and you can crank it over. Because right now it's reading that I have voltage here, but I guess it can't really tell how much current is in this unit. It's not really enough to do anything. It can't even crank one little grunt out of a motor. So the control unit is very good for protection so that it's not hooked up right. But when you push the boost button in, you only have 30 seconds. If you push the button in and hold it in, you still only have 30 seconds. If you push the button in 3 times in a row, it won't stack the time. You only have 30 seconds from the last push. If you push the button and wait 20 seconds and push it again, you have another 30 seconds. So it can continually add on to it. So you really can't use this in a situation where your alternator is gone and you actually need a battery of any sort, because your battery will be dead on your vehicle and this will only give it so much of a boost. I don't know how much driving you can get out of it. If you boost it a couple of times, you might be able to get another half a mile out of it or whatever. The only thing I could say is that it's an excellent unit for a city driver, and it's priced for a city driver. If you live in a remote area, I would tend to look at something which would be a lot more expensive and a little more capable of using as an actual battery replacement, because the only way I can see you could use this unit as a battery replacement was to pop the top, hardwire a thin wire onto the switch terminals in parallel, run it out the back with a long enough cable that you could run through the hood of your vehicle and into your door when you closed it, and put a switch on that, and you just have to keep hitting the switch every 20 seconds or so, and it would limp you to civilization again if your alternator was to go. But I mean, that's a very rare thing, and it has happened to me before though, so it isn't all that rare. And if you're in a major populated area, well, if you're in a city, you'd never have to worry about it, because everybody has a cell phone nowadays. You call for tow truck assistance or whatever. But if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you've got 5 miles to the next place and there's blowing snow and no one's on the highway, you're going to want something that's probably a lot more expensive than this unit to get you to civilization. Like I say, you could jerry-rig this to do it, but I don't know whether it would be worth the hassle. It's going to do what I want it to do. It's going to start my generator up, and it's going to be there for an emergency with my truck. And if I see anybody roadside that needs assistance, I'll be able to give them a boost without worrying about hooking up jumper cables and something going wrong. And you know, who knows, you could blow a computer in your vehicle or whatever. You just don't want to take the chance. Something like this would be perfect.